Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tayler Yarish Show. We are back, baby. This is episode 18. Yeah, man, we are back in the studio, back in New York City, baby. New York City. It's good to be, dude, it feels so good to be home. It feels so great to just be back in the dirty streets and just walking around in the sirens and the fucking people and it's amazing what you can miss, like what shitty thing you can miss that you know when you've done a stretch of time here, you're like you can't stand it, and then you like come to miss it. It's a weird thing. And I'll tell you what, man. I mean, I was gone a little over a month, and shit is turning around. And maybe that's just with like young people, like the nightlife scene has taken a turn. You know what I mean? And whatever you want to say, like, dude, I was in Tompkins Square Park yesterday, and it was packed with just, with people, like young people. It looked like a college campus. It was crazy. There was a band playing, and there was a mosh pit around a mosh pit is the most, that's like the most COVID fucking compacted, whatever you want to call it, that could probably exist, is a mosh pit. And there was one going on. And it's like a weird thing. I almost teared up seeing a mosh pit. Like, wow. Now, are all those people vaccinated? Probably not. But listen, you can't help but, even if you see something that you're like, man, that may or may not be safe, you can't help but just fucking get transported back to a year and a half ago, and you're just like, God, like little shit. Like my senses were not ready to walk through like crowded streets, walking around the East Village, just, people coming up and down the sidewalk, eating a slice of pizza and the outdoor drinks and the freaking, we walked through, we got a slice of pizza at this place, and then we walked into like the main restaurant part to use the bathroom. And you walk through the bathroom and you walk, through the restaurant to go to the bathroom. Dude, there's no 33% capacity or whatever the fuck you want to call it going on. I mean, these restaurants are just rolling the dice, and it's something to see, man. I mean, we were walking through this restaurant, and every table is just packed. And yeah, they got the fucking sneeze guard up in between, but it's not doing anything. And you're just walking through, and the music is blaring, and you're just like, where am I? What world is this? It's so bananas. You're like, oh yeah, this is New York City. Oh yeah, this is why I friggin' moved here. You know what I mean? Like just day drinking in a park and walking around. And New York City's vaccinations, they are up. They are up, and man, if you get vaccinated and you're outside and you're, whatever, it's like, what do you want people to do, man? You give people, you give them an inch, you give them a mile, and these people are fucking 5 miles ahead. I mean, it's kind of, it's friggin' bananas, man. And it's a lot of, it's mostly young people, but that's what it's going to be. And it is just filling my soul, man. I didn't realize how just sucked dry I was of human connection and just seeing people that I'm sure in 6 months I'm going to be like, get out of my way. But now nobody's burnt out. That's one of the things I was saying, like, why kind of, stand up and everything. Like, nobody's been doing it long enough back to where they're killing themselves and everybody's burnt out and resentful and just like, oh, fucking gosh, nobody's like super back at the grind, and everyone's just kind of happy. Now, are they just, collecting unemployment and blowing it on dollar slices and drinking? Yeah. But, let's have that for a little bit. We had despair or whatever for a fucking year. Let people blow their savings for a month. That's what I say. You don't have to save everything. You can blow a little bit of money. There was always like that, speculation of what it was going to be like when it comes back. Are people going to be hesitant to go to the restaurants? Are they going to be scared? Dude, no one's scared. No one's fucking scared, dude. I had a crazy experience last night doing stand-up at this place in Midtown. So we just finished hanging out in the park, and a friend of ours was going to come pick me and my friend up, and we were going to go to this place in Midtown. He's like, yeah, there might be a show you might be able to get on or whatever, and if there's half a chance I can get on, whatever, I'm going to go. So we go to this place in Midtown. I don't know if I should name the name. I mean, they're never going to hear it, but anyway, it's this place in Midtown, and, dude standing out front, old kind of like rickety looking place, and, oh, you on the show, you here for the show, you on the show, whatever. We get in, and then we go up, and we see some comics we know, and I was like, okay, this seems legit, and they're like standing in front of a doorway, waiting to go inside, and I'm guessing that's where the showroom is, and then we figure out we're not a part of that thing. That's a separate show. We're not on that show. We're on the downstairs thing, which is more like it's like half show, half open mic. We don't really know what the fuck it is. I'm seeing people I've never seen before, which is not a good sign. And like, if you don't see any comedians that you really know, that's not a good sign. It's going to be a shitty time. But soon, we're standing around outside with the comics that we know. And then off to the right, we just start to see these people come out of this door wearing like medieval times-esque garb, like horns and big strap black boots and just, braided in like fur and just masks. And I was like, what's the deal in there? And so the guy was like, nah, man, you don't want to go in there. You don't want to look in there. I was like, what? And he's sober at this point, so he's kind of biting his tongue. He's like, nah, just stay away from that door. And of course, now I'm super interested. I'm super interested in what's behind that door. But I don't go in. So then we go downstairs to this, whatever our thing is, and it is just it ends up being like basically an open mic of the weirdest, most insane people that I've ever fucking seen. Some of them are poets. Dude, what qualifies you to be a poet? What qualifies you? Like, listen, I'm a stand-up comedian. Ooh. But like, you make people laugh. Dude, poetry is so subjective, where some people like started snapping, and I'm like, what are you snapping for? What did she say? What did she say? She you know what I mean? Like, maybe I just don't get it. I don't have the palate for poetry or whatever. But just because, it's kind of like this pain, sadness Olympics where you just like, I'm going to just talk about this fucking family member that died, but I'm going to compare them to a flower. And that it? I mean, I don't know, man, but it just seems so self-indulgent. And I know that sounds silly coming from, a person who stands on stage trying to make people laugh. And it's obviously you have to have a little bit of narcissism. You have to be a little bit out there to try it. But, it's painful to listen to. And some of the comics, they weren't that much better. In fact, they may have been worse. Like people who just go up on stage and just, well, what do you do? What are you doing here? And so I waited probably, like when you want to leave a place, but you've been sitting there for so long that you're like, I'm fucking staying. I'm getting on stage. I don't care what it is. So we got there around 8, maybe 8:30, 8:40. I probably got on stage at 11:30 at night, like 3 hours later, and I was so pissed, so angry. I just basically exploded on everything that had happened in the room, and it was it was kind of funny. I thought it was pretty funny, but anyway, so that happened, and then we go back outside, and I see the comic that I was talking to from earlier, who was telling me about the room, and then I'm now the place at 11:30. It's more packed than it was at 8:45. And there's people in costumes and masks and like coming in and out of these doors. And I'm like, dude, what is happening? What is that? And he goes, oh, that's a satanic cult. I'm sorry, what? A satanic, yeah, it's a satanic cult. They just, they do their own thing in there. And yeah, they don't bother them because they pay their rent. I mean, that is if you pay your rent, it's your fucking business, man. If you want to throw a goat head into a cauldron and call upon the devil to do whatever, that is your prerogative. And I was just like, wow. Because it's the thing. Satanic cults, cults in general, they exist. But you just always picture them out in a field or whatever, or they're fucking in a barn and there's just one ringleader and that's how cults work. And then there's a pot that they get from Home Depot or something and they throw a bunch of shit in there with some cumin and then they sacrifice something and I'm guessing, I don't know. And that's, and then they fucking read out of a book from The Mummy with Brendan Fraser, and that's what it is. And they have a grand old time, and then, dude, what is the walk like? What is the walk back to your apartment like after that? You know what I mean? All right, I'm going out for the night. I'll be back a little later. And then you go and you pray to the devil. And then you come back. You just got to like walk back down the street and you just got your horns on. You're like, man, that was a good one. I mean, we were really, yeah, you had the new guy stirring the pot. That was good. Yeah, no, I thought he did a good job. I thought he stumbled over a few words in the scripture. He stumbled over a few words, but I thought he nailed it for first time. Dude, for first time reading the cult pages, I thought it was pretty good. I'll be honest. And then, he goes home and he tells his wife about it. Those people probably aren't in relationships, if I'm guessing. Maybe they are. Maybe that is their relationship. There were a lot of women, too. It's not just dudes. A lot of chicks. A lot of lace. A lot of lace. A lot of lace, a lot of horns, a lot of fur. And boots. Pretty much exclusively boots. There was no, there was no cute wedge going on in the satanic cult. It was a pretty strict uniform. It was a very fucking Hot Topic meets Capitol Hill rioter. That was the uniform, I would say, with the satanic cult. And it's funny. Like, they seemed, I didn't talk to them, but they seemed like normal people. Like, one of them was coming around the corner and, they gave me a head nod. And, like, you just instinctually, you give a head nod back. And it's like that funny, who has that joke? Maybe it's Louis, who, like, if, is the joke about, like, if Louis, or if you saw, like, an old Hitler or whatever, and he just, like, kind of waved at you, like, you just instinctually, like, hey, oh, no, fuck, I don't want to wave at Hitler. Like, I'm butchering the joke, but that was pretty much the premise of it. But that's what it felt like. I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing in there, but you smiled at me, and that's kind of all I need. That's you know, you don't need to do much for me to be like, they're all right. They're kind of cool. You know what I mean? It didn't take much. So yeah, it was a very late night, and then I don't like getting out super late into Times Square because it's just, Times Square is just fucking Mad Max at this point, or just Midtown in general. Like at the freaks come out at night. It's a lot. It's a lot, and nobody. I don't know what our numbers are like, but nobody's masked up anymore outside. It doesn't, like, every other person is maybe, but most people aren't. And I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are. I'm glad I don't see the fucking numbers every day. I'm glad I don't see the COVID numbers where all the news outlets had a fucking death ticker rolling that just showed you how the case is. Like, oh yeah, that's good for people's mental health. That's good for them to just see the fucking numbers go up. And I don't know what I don't know what the science is behind it. Like, if you're vaccinated, you need a mask or whatever. But I saw one article, it was by some website a newspaper out in San Francisco, and the title was like, why you should still be wearing a mask even if you got the COVID-19 vaccine. Here's why. Super clickbaity, right? Like, oh, well, why? And nothing in the article had anything to do with like science. It wasn't like, here is the study that says, oh, it's pretty, it's possible you could still give the blah, 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 blah. You know what it was? You know why? It was because some people have the vaccine, some people don't, and it's impolite. It's impolite that the vaccinated people are kind of scot-free, and the people who don't have the vaccine are still sort of at risk and need to wear the mask, and they're vulnerable. It's impolite. You have the balls to say that it's impolite because some people have a thing and other people don't have a thing. Like, you can't just apply that logic to every other thing that you have in your life living in fucking San Francisco or any place in America, really. What about medicine? Do you do that with medicine? I think it's impolite to take the fucking, vitamin when other countries don't have the vitamins. What about food? We do that with food. I used to have a bit about this, and like with other countries' food. Like, we have every type of food here in America. We have more Ethiopian food in New York than Ethiopia. I just think it's impolite. I think it's a little impolite to eat the food when other people don't have the food. That's not fucking stopping you. You didn't not get the vaccine because other people couldn't get the vaccine. Like, you're telling me now I have to wear it to be polite to other people? That is fucking stupid. I'm not like, and I'm not saying like I'm not an anti-mask or anything. Like, if you're telling me to wear it because scientifically it'll stop people from, stop me from spreading it, that's one thing. I will wear the fucking mask. I don't give a shit. But if you're telling me that I should wear the mask because there's, other kids that don't have the, you know what I mean? Like, who are we for? Is it just for optics? Like, oh, well, they have to walk on the crutches, so maybe I should walk on the thing. No, because I guarantee you those people are just fucking refreshing the CDC page or whatever, trying to get a vaccine appointment too, so they don't have to wear the fucking thing. They're not going to, like, the whole point is to get to a place where we're not doing that anymore. Am I right? And maybe I'm coming off pretty ignorant right about now. I don't know. If we get to the place where 98% or 99% of New York is vaccinated, but that 1% doesn't because they just don't fucking want to, are we are we supposed to be like, well, there's people out there. How about fuck those people? I mean, get it together. I'm not shitting on you if you can't get a vaccine appointment and you're really fucking trying. Dude, it's difficult. It's difficult. That's why I had to get it on the sneak in California. It's difficult to get an appointment in New York now because they just unloaded. They let it open for everybody, and so it's kind of difficult. But if you're getting it, like everybody's getting it every day. Like people are getting it every single day. So eventually, all the people that want to get it are gonna get it. And then all those other people, fuck them. They wear a mask, they don't, or whatever, But if you're a vulnerable person, then yeah, you should get the thing and then go outside or you don't. I feel so bad for the way that they're talking about old people. Like, even if you're like old and you get the vaccine, you should still not go to places. You should still not. Every old person that I talk to, it feels like they're like, I don't give a shit. Please let it fucking kill me. If it kills me, it kills me. Do you know how many times I heard if it kills me, it kills me over the last fucking month and a half? And these people, everyone's just telling them, no, I'm sorry, you just don't get a social thing anymore. You don't get to be social. Sorry. How about let them take their own, let them take their own fucking risk. They want to go back to work as a goddamn Walmart greeter, let them. They got the vaccine. Let's see what happens. I realize a lot of this probably sounds pretty ignorant, but, I didn't research anything that I'm saying. But that's, again, that's the nature of this show. Is me talking out of my ass, because I'm frustrated, man. All people are frustrated. All right, we'll move on. Let's move on. R.I.P. DMX, dude. R.I.P. fucking DMX. Woo! I mean, God. Yeah, man. Is that not just fucking workout playlist all day, all day long? Yeah, I listened to his shit for a whole, just all day the other day. And, God, that sucks, man. Drugs are that's just a no-no. I mean, the amount of people that it fucking just ruins. Like, DMX dies at 50, and Prince Philip gets to live till 99. I mean, come on. Life is just not fair. I mean, DMX dies at 50 and Prince Philip lives to be 99. It's not fair. What does Prince Philip do? Can somebody tell me that? Was his job just to stay alive at some point? Like, did his job just to be like show up places and show his fucking ghouly Scooby-Doo ghost face to the cameras and to the press? Every time Prince Philip would make an appearance, the story was, he's still alive. He's still out there. He's still kicking. This is him going to the doctor. This is him leaving the doctor. I wish you could just see the doctor's face, like when he makes another appointment. He's just like, really? Wow. I mean, last time I saw you, I gave you a good goodbye because I was for sure that was it. I was like, there's no way this dude's making his next checkup. Do you even check up on 99-year-olds anymore? Like, what are you checking? Yeah, you look fucking terrible. I mean, yeah, you look god-awful. You're 99 years old. I mean, his face, it was just sourdough bread with eyes. Sir Prince Philip, can we, like, I think when you get over a certain age, you shouldn't be a prince anymore. You're kind of ruining the idea of what a prince is. You know? Like, you read an old fairy tale or children's story or whatever you want to, the prince and the princess. And there's no book out there where that's what the prince looks like. Can we just give him a new fucking name? Can he just be Phil? I mean, can he just be a 99-year-old Phil at some point? No, he's Prince Philip. He's a prince. The knight, the prince in shining armor. Maybe one day I'll be able to kiss a prince. Maybe one day. Wouldn't it be hysterical if, like, that was like a children's story where there was a curse set on a beautiful princess where she, was fucking every night she turned into a whatever, and she could only be set free if she was kissed by a prince. And every night she goes to sleep just, I hope there's a prince. I hope a prince comes and finds me and sets me free. And then one night she, like, hears something coming up the steps. She's like, what is that? She, like, pops open the door, and it's just a 99-year-old Prince Philip hobbling his way up the corridor, up the stairs. I'm coming to set you free, my dearest. Like, what horror are you looking at? Him, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come give you a Frenchie so you don't turn into a goblin every night. And then in the end, she's just like, you know what? Being a goblin is not that bad. Being a goblin is kind of okay, You get to be a different thing for a night, and then I go back to being pretty in the morning. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. And the story becomes, in the end, you accept who you are. She accepts who she is, that she's a goblin at night, and that she doesn't have to just kiss the old fucking dude on the lips to be pretty all the time. That would be a great story. Somebody should write that. Maybe I should write it. No, I'm not going to write it. But somebody should write that. The point is, Prince Philip is not a prince. That's kind of the end fucking thing there. Dude, princes are hot. Princes are hot. Princesses are hot. I don't care what you know what I mean? It's like, that's just the way, when she's a princess. There's a reason why we say that to, like, little girls, because little girls are still, they haven't grown up and life hasn't hit them, and then, they discover, they're not in charge of their own life where they can make their own bad decisions, and, you're the one buying the Oreos. It's tough. It's tough to be a pretty person. I'm not pretty. I'm a short, I'm a short, smooth-bodied, bald man. Like that, I'm not a prince. I'm not a prince. I feel like princes are ripped, dude. You know what I mean? Just fucking riding stallions all day and shit. I'm trying to eat. Since I've been back, the last few days, I've actually been okay. I haven't had many sweets. I did stuff my face with beignets the other night, but that was the only thing. I've been pretty good. I've been, like, cooking shit on that app, Tasty. And, they make it super simple. I've been making a lot of food. But the other day, I go to the grocery store to get chicken, and I get the chicken, and then I put it in the fridge, and a couple days later, I take it back out. Only a couple days, and it reeked. The chicken went bad, and the sell-by date hadn't hit yet. I fucking live and die by the sell-by date. Of course, that's the only thing I have. Thank God for the sense of smell, because I put my whole life in your hands that this is going to be okay. If I didn't smell that, I would for sure be dead, because I don't know if it's just all grocery stores. I feel like it happens all the time to me. grocery stores that I go to, there's just, they suck. There's no regulation at my grocery store. There's no regulation. It would be more organized if it was fucking run by the mob. I've never seen a food truck out in front of it once. I've never seen them drop off produce. I mean, their chickens are looking super tough. I don't even think they get their chickens from a farm. They probably just they have them stuffed back there in an employee's locker and they just yank them out and chop their head off whenever they need more chicken. I mean, God knows what they're doing. None of the produce is ever really fresh. The fucking lettuce is probably, the owner is growing it on his fire escape in Astoria, and he just brings that in. It's not a good scene. It's not a good scene. And the chicken went bad. It always happens. Why is the store brand chicken always so shitty? Like, we all think Purdue is some big monster. Hey, guess what? Never had an issue. Never had an issue with their chicken smelling like shit. Okay? And it's surprising because, I don't understand the system. I don't understand the system in grocery stores where the refrigeration section is just all open. The whole side of it is just open. And we trust it. Like, if you just left your fridge open all night and all day and all night, you just left it open, would you trust any of the fucking food in there the next morning? No. But for some reason, we go into a grocery store and there's just a wall of ground beef that's just being, it's like got the air pressure of a birthday kiss or of a birthday wish. And we trust it. We're like, what? I don't understand. Like, doesn't it make more sense to have everything behind a door? Is it that much more expensive to get a door? We open a door for the fucking freezer shit. Why can't we open a door for the refrigeration shit? In fact, I think you'd save more money if you weren't just blowing out fucking cold air into the entire grocery store. Like, why is it open? Why is the fridge open? This isn't a cooler of beers at a cookout. It's raw chicken. It's raw chicken and beef. Bacteria exists. Who are these fucking wizards that are building these things? Are you taking that much time out of your day to open up a door? Is it that convenient to store the things? Well, yeah, they could just grab and go. They can grab the bacon. They can grab the chicken and be on their way. Or just open the fucking door. I mean, listen, I no longer trust anybody who puts a fucking sell-by date. What magic are you doing to come up with that number? I trust the people who read palms more than I trust the people who come up with sell-by dates. Because they're slipping up. They're slipping up a lot, and we're just trusting my sense of smell to, I don't drink a lot of regular milk, but, how often, because most of the time I would have milk, I would just put it in cereal and I would never smell the milk before, you just oh yeah, you pour it in. The date's good. You just pour it in. And then you have to wait to that first bite to really be like, oh, Jesus. I don't know. Get it together. Get it together. That's all I got to say. 35 minutes. Boom. Here we are. Good to be back in New York, man. That's the podcast this week. I'm excited. Kate is flying back as we speak. She had to stay for a gig. And yeah, man, it's good to be back. Thank you for listening. Follow me on all the things, and if you're listening to this, you probably already do. So what I'm saying, or maybe tell a friend. Maybe like, hey, I got this friend. He's a fucking lunatic, and I'm so bad at self promotion. It's unbelievable. I'm also thinking about maybe starting to have guests on. It's a daunting thing for me, just because I don't always like sometimes I just like doing it myself. I like talking to people myself, but I also think it would be cool. I also think it'd be cool to get some new people in on this. So that's something I'm kind of looking ahead to. So yeah, thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe, smash the like button. Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.